Hello, Coach Spencer, owner of CrossFit Donelson. This is my Vanna White today, Coach Mike again, being so gracious to help me out. Today is lesson 8 of the coach development. We're going over layering, and I chose the push-up. It's one of my favorite movements to coach, and there's a lot of meat on the bone here that we can really improve with a lot of people's push-ups. With what's typically known as a simple movement, we can really make a virtuous movement. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the setup. Now for the setup, I'm gonna have Mike have his hands about a little outside his shoulder width apart. His index finger is roughly gonna point forward, and the rest of his fingers are gonna spread out or splay out like eagle talons grip on the ground, right? That gives him lots of points of contact and tension. He's gonna extend his legs out and bring his thighs squeezed together, his butt cheeks squeezed together, and his midline nice and tight. And now he's going to also actively push his shoulders on the floor. So we're looking for those active shoulders at the top. That's beautiful. All right, so that's your basic setup position for the push-up. You can relax. Now, if I have a little bit more of an advanced athlete that I want to really tweak and make that push-up a little more virtuous, we're going to go for that hollow position in the push-up, which means we're going to have him tuck his hips and create that nice hollow position. So I'll have Mike do that. So he's going to get into the regular setup position first. And then I would have him tuck his hips, by bringing his hips up towards his rib cage, shortening that distance there, and making that beautiful gymnastic position. Awesome. Relax. Now, for the actual movement, we're going to start to layer in points of performance here. Number one is the line of action. Just like the squat has the line of action with the hips, the push-up is going to have the line of action with the body, or specifically the shoulders. So I'm going to watch the shoulders here, specifically in relation to the hands. As he lowers down or descends into the push-up, his shoulders are going to come slightly forward. His body's going to come slightly forward so that his shoulders get out in front of his hands. And what I tell my athletes to do is to try to aim for the wrist to be lined up with the base of the chest or the base of the sternum, same as you would on like a bench press or if you were like doing a row, okay? So I'm going to have him do a couple reps here, spread those fingers out, get that good setup position, tuck those hips, and then he's going to go forward slightly as he descends. Notice the wrists are right in line with the base of that chest. Beautiful. And relax. Cool. So I'm watching the shoulders as they descend, specifically to see where they are in relation to the hands or the wrists. All right. Next up, the next piece we do is the shoulder rotation, the external rotation of the shoulders. So here I'm going to watch the elbows, but he's going to be thinking about keeping his arms close to his body. So I'm going to watch and make sure the elbows are 45 degrees or less away from his body as he descends. This is going to put our shoulders in a good rotation. So kind of like how we screw our feet into the ground with squats, we're going to screw our hands into the ground with push-ups. And does it go? Good. So I'm watching the elbows staying close to the body, arms staying close to the body, watching specifically the elbow joint there. You can relax. Awesome. Good. And then the final piece here, this is the struggle for a lot of athletes, beginners to advanced, is as they get tired, they start to lose that midline a little bit. The more common one is to see the snake where the shoulders rise faster than the hips, but occasionally you also see people have that pike where their hips stay above their shoulders the whole time, excuse me. So we're looking for that line to stay straight and for that midline to stay stable the whole time. So here I'm going to watch the midline, specifically watch the abdomen or the core, maybe the upper part of the hips, but I'm going to make sure he doesn't lose that position, doesn't lose that good rigid plank position. So he's going to get a good setup. I'm going to watch right in this area. Good. And if he starts to lose it, which we know it's kind of tough after a couple reps, I'm going to tell him to push that belly button away from the floor and relax. Yeah, you're good. I've tried different cues on that one. A lot of times people, I would say, push your hips up first and they'll pike. So if I tell them to push their belly button away from the floor, that tends to tighten them up. Or conversely, I'll tell them to push the floor away from them. That also works really well for that one as well. But I want to keep that midline nice and stable. So we got the basic setup, then we've got the hollow position in the setup, and then we have the line of action of the shoulders, the elbow position of the shoulder rotation, and then the midline stability there. Those are the points I usually look